February 22nd, 2021. Today is a historical day. We come to you this evening a bit down, but we as Americans, we are resilient. As you know, today marked the 500,000 deaths of COVID in the U.S. It's a solemn moment. Just before we go any further in the show, I'd like to take a 30 seconds to moment of silence to our fellow Americans who have been victim of this common enemy of ours. Well, as we've gone back here. Well, I think it's our duty as Americans. When one of our own is falling, we fall down as well. Today was a day that President Biden, who was our commander in chief, took the time, along with Vice President Kamala Harris, to pay homage, pay tribute to these falling Americans through no fault of their own. They were the victim of COVID, but I believe that we're making great stride. But I think it's good that we can heal together because this is a common enemy that we have. We reflect on their lives, and that loss will eventually come to pass. I'd like to send my condolences to our affected families, those of you who have a family member who have fall victim of this common enemy. I wish you speedy recovery in your loss, and may God strengthen you as you move forward. Because remember that we are Americans who will succeed, and we ask God for strength and endurance in this most difficult time. We have a lot in the agenda. We've seen what's happening in the Midwest, and also with what's happening also in the Southwest Texas. As you know, the past 2 weeks have been very hard for Texas, and the storm that we have, the power outage. We have quite a few deaths over there, but we are resilient. We are Americans. And those, I'd like to send kudos to our nurses who have traveled to Texas to show support, to do what they do best, which is to care for others. These are true Americans. These are folks who see their brothers, their sisters first. Forget the money that they're making. I know they're making good money, but there's an incentive, because every time you're gonna leave your family behind, you're going to be gone for 2 months. I believe it's good initiatives that the government, the hospitals, who do not see money first, but they see people lives. That's the reason why they're paying these nurses, these doctors, a good chunk of money, so they can leave their state, their home, for a period of 2 months or 3 months to help out. Again, I encourage you, those who stay behind, husbands, wives, to support your family as they are serving our nation. This is a cause that is bigger than us. And then this is what makes us Americans. We do not care when we giving a hand to someone. We don't ask them if they're Republican or Democrat. We don't ask them if they're independent. We see Americans. We see lives first. And I think this is a good time that we can come together as a unit and put our petty aside, our nonsense, and look for things that we have in common, which is the same blood that we bleed, the same flag that we salute, the same pledge of allegiance that we say. This is what we have in common. And I applaud you. I applaud you tonight. Your first aid service, the police officers, the nurses, the doctors, the custodian, the teachers. We applaud you. You are a true public servant. Unlike those who may have chose otherwise, but yet you stayed the course. and then America is better because of people like you. So at the Robert DeVerney Show, we thank you. We thank you for your dedication to this great nation of ours, for never give up. You see America first. That's what we see. And that's what I aspire others as well. We thank you again. Well, on a lighter note, last week, Mr. Cruz, most of you should know Mr. Cruz by now. Mr. Cruz is Ted Cruz is the senator for the great state of Texas. Mr. Cruz, who has been the diva, the male diva, because the diva would miss the essence of what I want to say. He's the male diva version in the Senate. Well, as you know, his state, Texas, was going through a horrific deal of thunders, and also people not having clean water, no running water out of. But guess where Mr. Cruz was? You think he was serving the people of Texas? No. Mr. Cruz happened to take a trip because he couldn't deal with the heat, and then the all these things that comes along with being a public servant. Well, he took a trip with his family to Cancun, Mexico. In the middle of this chaotic time that was happening in Texas, Mr. Cruz was nowhere to be found. And as most politicians that we know, they tend to pass the bucket to the next person in line. And at that time, he had no one else to blame but his daughter, his lovely daughter. Mr. Cruz claimed that the trip wasn't his idea. What his daughter? Well, I wonder, Mr. Cruz, who paid for that trip? Whose credit card? Well, I mean, I'm sure you did not fly first class. I mean, second class. You did not fly coach, but you flew first class. So was it your daughter's idea? Well, Mr. Cruz, we have great respect for you, for your intellect, for your savvy, for your genuine sense of the law. But you let your guard down this time. And Mr. Cruz, to make up for this one, he came back and he's helping right now. If you search on the internet, you'll see Mr. Cruz right now passing out orders and then talking to the residents after he got caught in the airport with his suitcase going to Cancun. So, Mr. Cruz, lack of better words, you really show that you don't have the backbone to be a public servant. You will find the first exit. But I hope you remedy this course, and we wish to better things from our elected leaders. Because guess what? The next generation look up to you. They look up to us. We must hold our public servant accountable for everything that they do. Because we have a country that we serve. We have young people who are coming up who aspire to be politicians, to be public servants. They look up to you. When we do things like that, what message are we sending to the young people? What message are we sending to our constituents? Think about it, Mr. Cruz, Mr. Devo. All right, Mr. Cruz, enough of that. But I like you very much. I like your sense of your encyclopedic knowledge when it comes to legal minds. He has the best legal minds that you can think of, Mr. Cruz. But then again, you let your guard down this time. All right, we're going to give you a pass this time, Mr. Cruz, but hopefully you make up for it next time. So don't make a big scene in the Senate next time. Talking about the election was rigged. Talking about you care for the American people that when you're passing the Obamacare back in the Affordable Care Act back in 2010. You stood in the Senate for 21 hours for a cause that you deeply believe in, yet you cannot stand with your people where you had to flee the country for a trip. All right, it's what we do. has consequences. What we say has consequences as well. So, talk the walk. Thank you, sir. All right. On a different note here, we're gonna do another thing here, which is stimulus. I'm sure most of you, I'm sure that may be in your mind about the stimulus. As you know, the previous administration has given out $600, and then the idea was to give out $2,000 to all Americans. But so far, you received the $600, but the next one, which should be the next month. So with the stimulus package has gone to the House. It's in committee right now. It should be signed, voted on this week. The House representative plan on voting on it this week, and then send it to the Senate for reconciliation, which I don't foresee anything. But then again, there's good news is in that package, based on the Mr. Biden administration, there has been some changes in the PP loan, which is Paycheck Protection Program for loans for small business. Those of you who own small business, you have a unique opportunity to tap into this. It's some good things, some good news, and it will only the provision they have in there is very profitable to small businesses. Small businesses shall see a bump into the loans, the availability that will be at the disposal. So I think you should definitely tap into this. Those of you who have employees, those of you who think about expanding your business, the PP loans will be very suitable in your interest. This is something you should definitely speak to your accountant and definitely take advantage of it. Because what happened when small businesses thrive, the U.S. thrive. We are the small engine, okay, of the economy. So without small businesses, there's no America. So Mr. Biden has really put emphasis on that, which I think is a great thing. Now, on a personal level, those of you who, the good thing about that package, for folks who are making $75,000, if you are single, $75,000, you're gonna get $1,400, and then folks who are a married couple, you $150,000, you're gonna get the full one. But the beauty about this one, anyone in your household who tend to be on your tax return. By the way, those of you who have not filed your taxes, this is the time to do it. You are very encouraged to file your taxes if you really want to tap into that stimulus package, because remember that the funds will be start distributing mid-March. So unless you have your tax in, you would not be, you may be left out. So technically, so the sooner you file your taxes, get with your tax preparer, and if you need some references, I can refer you to Homagers here in Miami Gardens. They'll be more than happy to assist you in filing your taxes on time and making sure that $1,400 gets your account. Now, the caveat here is that the last time you only have benefits for minor under 17. So in other words, if you have any kids under 17, then you have gotten the $600 for them in that last round of stimulus. The $600. So those of you may see $1,200, $600 for you and $600 for that minor child that you have. Now, in this package, not only are you going to a family of five, for instance, a family of five, which composed of two parents, a mother and a father, and 3 children, regardless of their age. You guys getting $7,000. Can I say it again? A family of 5 should expect $7,000 in the next few weeks for the month of March. That's when the stimulus will start going out. So a family of 5 will get $7,000. $1,400 for mommy, $1,400 for daddy, and $1,400 for each child in that tax return. So I think it's a good thing, and we guys should definitely benefit. I'm sure those of you who have your children, make sure they get a portion of that tax return, of that stimulus, because they are part of the American dream. Let them have some of this money and use it for the advancement of the economy. So make good use of that. Please make good use of that stimulus money. Don't put it in the bank or don't. I mean, well, the good thing about the stimulus, I mean, the Republican has proposed that they wanted to stream it down to $50,000, but they wanted to make sure that that money will go to the most neediest. In other words, people who are mostly in need of that money, because they figured the people on 75,000 and up, a single person, 150,000 for a couple. They were mostly using that money to pay down debt, which does not stimulate the economy. And some of them use it for savings, some of them use it for investment. So they did not see, that's based on survey that have been conducted for the past 6 months. That's what they've seen. But the Republican Party wants that funds to go to people on the lower bracket, because once they have that money, the first thing they do, cash it and spend it. So that somewhat stimulate the economy. So we just want to bring this out to you guys. I mean, family of 5, family of 6, you're gonna be smiling to the bank. Imagine you have your tax return a week prior, because I have. Based on my practice, I've seen some returns coming in this week. We're going to disperse some funds as of this week, although the tax season start late this year, as of February 12th. But I already have some of my clients who will be getting their tax refund this Wednesday. So those of you who file taxes with me, you know that be on the lookout on your account. You're going to have some fat checks coming out to you this Wednesday morning. Check your account. You're gonna have some funds in there. I won't tell who they are, but they know who they are. If they're watching the Robert DeVerney show, they know who they are. And they were the first folks to file on the 12th, and then the refund is due on their account this Wednesday. Now imagine you have that chunk of money coming out to you this Wednesday, and then 3 weeks later you're gonna have a big chunk again. So God is good, right? So, all right, stay tuned for more, okay? Now, on a different note right now, we see Mr. Merrick Garland. Mr. Merrick Garland, he's the Attorney General that President Biden has selected to serve as his Attorney General. He's AG. As you know, just give you a brief story about Mr. Merrick Garland. Mr. Merrick Garland was the appointee of Mr. President Obama back in 2016. As you know, 2016 we had the death of Antonin Scalia, the Supreme Court justice who passed suddenly in February, and then the Senate, who was back then was Mr. McConnell was in charge of the Senate. He was a majority leader. Then he did not think it was a good idea to bring a new justice into the fold because it was an election year. He believed that we should let the people decide the next president of the United States, and that president would in turn pick up the next the next Supreme Court justice. As you all know what happened, this wasn't the case last year. We had this another scenario where RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, passed away in late October. Then we have an election less than 2 weeks. So there was no time in fulfilling that seat, the Republican Party. And that's a level of hypocrisy that we see in politics. And then I wonder, how do these guys go to sleep at night? And then I may want to wish to do something just to push my agenda. But then again, how about the people that I serve? How about the legacy that I want to leave behind? Because my word should be my bond. That's what we want in our politicians. Well, Mr. Garland has been selected by Mr. Biden has been appointed by Mr. Biden to serve as his Attorney General. Well, Mr. Merrick Garland was on Capitol Hill before the Senate for a hearing for his confirmation. So he put a lot of emphasis on justice, and especially he put emphasis on domestic terrorism, which is very key We've seen what's happening and pass of the right we have in January 6th. We've seen some homegrown terrorism happening lately. But he's on attack with this. I mean, and he's going to be a justice for all Americans, not for a selected few, but for all Americans, regardless of your race, your ethnic background, your sexual orientation, your religion. He's going to be an attorney general for all Americans. This is what we want in the Justice Department. So he presented a great case. He was very fluid and very sharp in his answers. So he's a seasoned attorney. I'm sure he would have been a seasoned justice as well. But he would serve at the pleasure of President Biden when he does get the confirmation from the Senate, which I don't foresee any disappointment in for him to be getting confirmed, but because we just need a simple majority in the Senate, and then he should be good to go. So stay tuned. This is someone that who has a great sense of empathy, who would serve at the Justice Department with wisdom, and this is what we want in our leaders. Either you are appointed or elected. We all should be in the same level playing field, and we represent America. At the end of the day, that's what makes us great. That's what makes all the nation to look up to us. All right. So stay tuned for this. All right. So do not see if you guys have any questions as far as the stimulus checks. Again, please let me know. I'm here for the next 5 minutes. We'd love to talk on a host of other issues, but then again, we wanted to quickly recap on what we covered tonight, which is we paying homage, tribute to our falling COVID victim. President Biden has been at the helm. He really represents America, and he himself knows a thing or two about a loss. He lost his wife and his daughter in a car accident, and his son Bo. You remember Bo was also in the car, but he survived the accident. But his wife and daughter were both killed. He was just 29 years old, just got elected in the Senate back in the 70s, back 1972. So Mr. Biden really knows a thing or two about loss. So when he spoke this afternoon about we need to take time and we need to remember, and that's a good process of healing. We must be able to remember our loved one. We need to, and in due time, that will bring us a smile. We'll just have to think about them. In remembrance, that's how we remember them, and that's the way we cope with things. Oh, that's the reason why this evening I'm paying homage to those fallen heroes. But to me, they attracted this disease through no fault of their own. And my heart bleeds tonight to those families, those affected, and I thank God for those of you who made it through this horrible disease. And we pray that this will go away for good. So continue to practice safe distancing and wear your mask, wash your hands, and then and there's a lot of things that you can do. Educate others. I mean. We're not seeing the end of this yet. We're not out of the woods yet. So just stay vigilant, and then I'm sure together we'll prevail. Together we'll make great stride. All right. Now the last 5 minutes of the show, as you know, this month particularly is Black History Month. I'd like to pay homage to those who are forefathers, our leaders who have paved the way so we as Americans, African Americans, minorities, may have a voice in the justice system, may have a voice in the political arena. I pay homage to you. I pay homage to Harriet Tubman. She was one that was ordained by God to lead her people. I mean, folks like that, I pray that young people take a page out of the book and build on that. Because the best way that we can honor those who have long gone before us is to think, what would they say if they were here? Would they be proud of us? Have we made strides? Because remember that they had it so tough, they had it so rough. But nowadays, look at me, I'm behind a camera at night doing a show, and I'm touching millions of people. Not only in the United States, but around the world. I have folks all over the place who somehow will email me or let me know that they watch the show. And that's the reason every so often I will probably throw some French in there, and then because I have some Europeans as well who watch the show and they wanted to be part of it, so I would definitely. Bonjour à France, bonjour l'Europe. Je vous dis bon, merci d'avoir branché ce soir. Alors, nous sommes ici encore. Je viens de dire à mes amis là qui sont branchés que ici encore c'est Robert Duvernay, le show. Alors, vous qui me regardez un peu partout et ailleurs, nous vous remercions parce qu'avec le système électronique là que nous avons, le système Internet, ça marche très bien et vous êtes le nôtre exactement. Alors, merci. Hein? C'était juste une toute petite parenthèse que je voulais faire. Encore merci. So, I just wanted to touch base with them. So, because of technology. So, when we do things like that, we post, because someone paved the way, someone paid the ultimate price. We cannot go on without remembering these people. Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King, W.E.B. Du Bois, great guys, Booker T. Washington. These are guys who fought the good battle. Martin Luther King, my prophet, the one who foresee his death less than 24 hours. I may not get there with you, but I've been to the mountaintop. But we, as a people, will get to the promised land. He's always wanted to live a long life, but that did not matter to him anymore because he wanted to do God's word. That was his last words. I just wanted to do God's will because he had allowed me to be on the mountaintop. And I've seen the promised land. Yes. Oh, don't get me started up in here now. Oh my God. So this is the people that we honoring tonight for the hard work. And I pray that we as Americans, particularly minorities, take a page from these people. Build a legacy. Because what they have done, we have not done a 1/100th of what they've done. What they suffered. Just so you and I can enjoy what we have today. Yet, we're not quite there yet. That means we have our work to do. This is what we want. This is what we must do on a regular basis. Let's make these people proud of us. Let's make this world better than the way we found it. If we have that mindset, we'll achieve greatness. We will. We will. So, on this note, my fellow Americans, the show has come to an end. It's 30 past the hour. And I'd like to thank you, those of you who have logged in early. Please always contact a friend. Please let them know about the Robert DuVernay Show. Remember that we're building a consensus here, that we all come together every Monday or sometime during the week. If there's a breaking news, if I know there are certain things that are pertinent that I should share with you, I would stop everything that I'm doing just to be here and relate that to you. This is an oath that I've taken to be at your disposal. This is not something I take very light. So on this day, what I'm asking you is to tell a friend, a family member, help them to subscribe. You at work, in your church, wherever you may be, let them know that there's a show entitled The Robert DuVernay Show, The Real Deal. which comes on every Monday between the hours of 8 o'clock and 9 p.m. And then we give the best news ever. We create a platform that is enjoyable, that is easy to maneuver around, easy to understand. This is what we do. This is our calling. This is what we plan on doing. Well, again, thank you very much for watching this broadcast. Stay tuned for more. And then please instant message me, send me a message, although after the show. If there are some topics that you would think that you would like for me to discuss, I would be more than happy to discuss those with you. Again, this platform here is for you. When I created the Robert DeVerney Show, I only have you in mind. So I look forward to seeing you in the near future. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for watching the